Okay guys, rain, sleet, or snow, I am back with another crypto video. This first clip here it's a post that John Deaton had reposted, but it's actually an interview with Grant Cardone where he's talking about the current issues that like the legacy payment networks have and the appeal that he sees in the crypto industry. So I'm gonna let that clip play now.
Crypto world, because the payment industry has a massive amount of problems in declining credit card transactions and having your credit card decline just because the provider of that card may not like you anymore. That happened in Russia 1 year ago. All Visa, all MasterCard, you're not using any of this. So the sovereign value to me, as a bit of a creature who doesn't like being controlled by people I don't even know their name, I didn't vote for them. I like crypto because at least for a small percentage, 3%, 5%, 10%, I have some sovereign, I've managed a bit of my sovereign risk, right? Like, I just want to leave the country now, and I'm going to go live on a sailboat, and I'm not going to be tied to a currency or a passport that makes me do certain things. So that's kind of how I ended up here. I find it intellectually, it is the most exciting industry I have ever been in, bar none. I've been in 5 of them, 5 big ones. I love the youth of the people. I was in Wall Street this whole week. I think companies investing in this space are more serious today than they were a year ago, and far more serious than they were 3 years ago. Like I'm really excited what I saw in New York this week, because there are 150-year-old monster institutions that are coming in this space. They've been studying it. They have not stubbed their toe yet. They didn't get involved with some of this bullshit. And they're going to launch and they're deploying a monster amount of intellectual capital behind it.
Yeah, I mean, BlackRock's here, JP Morgan's here, Fidelity is massively here in the crypto space. You don't get much bigger names than that. They're just sort of quietly evolving. I love the point you made earlier about always wanting to be where there's disruption. And you talked about it being technological disruption, regulatory disruption. I think we've clearly had the technological disruption from crypto, which you described well, certainly in the payment space. Are you concerned about the regulatory disruption that could potentially be coming as a result of all the things that we saw there?
Okay, yeah, so he brings up a lot of good points, obviously, but more importantly, one of the bigger points that he brought up was the fact that he's always interested in being a part of what are the disruptors in the world or in these industries. And it's not hard to tell what's disrupting about crypto. Just seeing the way many of these governments and many of these legacy banks, many of these I guess you could call it old money, but many of these institutions that have had such a stronghold on the entire world this whole time, when they have to sit back and see something that is, if they don't actually rein it in, this is something that could completely knock a bunch of these entities off of their high horse and just make them really just useless. So it's definitely interesting to watch, not just watch this interview, but to watch how things are going to unfold from here, because regardless of how many people like Gary Gensler want to sabotage this industry, regardless of how many people want to think that this is just a fad, we are in a historical time. Things are going to change no matter what. Even in the post that John Deaton had reposted, his quote was, "Listen to Grant Cardone explain how legacy players are getting into crypto. I've said for more than a year that at Gary Gensler is crashing crypto, including exchanges, so that the incumbents can get a bigger slice. After that, there will be some level of clarity worked out." And again, that's what many of us have been pointing out, that the real goal here is really boils down to they want to put their friends in a position to where they all could still come out on top in the end. Like they're not interested in letting the average person really come up in the world. That's not the goal here. But when you bring this stuff up to this day, certain people, they'll call you a conspiracy theorist. But either way, the next story here is FTX creditors include Apple, Netflix, and Coinbase, court documents reveal. The expansive creditor matrix encompasses numerous businesses in several countries caught up in the collapse of FTX. Financial advisors for the bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange FTX at last revealed the complete list of the company's institutional creditors include in a court filing late Wednesday. The document shows the names of the companies owed money by FTX, providing an expansive view of entities wrapped up in the exchange's bankruptcy. The document, organized alphabetically and well over 100 pages long, showed just how far the impact of FTX collapse extends, listing tech companies from Apple to WeWork and several media publications such as the Wall Street Journal and CoinDesk. The list does not include specific dollar amounts as to what each business in the creditor matrix is owed, nor specified information involving individual customers, over 9.6 million of which were redacted from the document. A company's inclusion on the list doesn't necessarily mean that the entity had a trading account with FTX. FTX, a once dominant player in the cryptocurrency industry, collapsed following a bank run on the exchange in November. The liquidity crunch forced FTX to admit that customer assets were not fully backed, and it eventually filed for bankruptcy following an unsuccessful last-ditch attempt to sell the company to its primary rival, Binance. The company's founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, has since been arrested and charged with 8 financial crimes in connection with the collapse of the exchange. The unwinding of FTX has thus far proved to be a long, complicated process, with former Enron liquidator John J. Ray overseeing the reconstructing of the company. The creditor list filing was approved last Friday under Judge John Dorsey in Delaware, where the high-profile bankruptcy case continues to play out. FTX lawyers estimated earlier in the case that the exchange could have well over 1 million creditors. Jeez. Previously, court documents revealed FTX owed its top 50 creditors $3.1 billion alone, without mentioning specific names. The specific filing made clear that FTX's top 10 creditors alone have more than $100 million in each in unsecured claims. Wednesday's matrix includes numerous companies native to the digital assets industry, such as Coinbase, Binance Capital Management, Chainalysis, Yuga Labs, Doodles, and Silvergate Bank. Reddit, which rolled out Polygon-based NFT avatars on its platform last year, is also mentioned as a creditor. But Silvergate is only one of several banks mentioned in the creditor matrix, which lists other groups like Citigroup and Wells Fargo. Companies that had also invested in the now bankrupt venture, such as BlackRock, Sequoia Capital, are also listed. Some instances of companies being mentioned could pertain to money owed by FTX for goods and services. Pharmacy CVS is listed as one of the exchange's corporate creditors, as well as Netflix and Comcast. 12 different creditors that include DoorDash in their name are listed in the matrix. Multiple departments of revenue from numerous states across the U.S. are included in the creditor matrix as well, from Alabama to Wyoming. The credit matrix also outlines the Bahamas Ministry of Finance as a creditor in the bankruptcy case. So again, I'm gonna keep saying this again and again. The one day when they do a documentary truly exposing all the different details that we're still learning about right now, it's going to be one of the most fascinating things ever. Like, this story sounds simple, but it's still fascinating. It's fascinating to see just how deep this rabbit hole goes when it comes to the amount of companies, the amount of people that have ties to this company. And again, even though this even though this whole story went viral, I still think to some degree a lot of these entities are downplaying just how much they were damaged by this collapse. I mean, even one of the companies that are now being listed as having ties to FTX is companies like Netflix, which people have been reporting has been losing money for a while. Who knows how many other companies out here? Who knows how many of them are actually tied to FTX, including any companies that may have not yet been listed in any of these court documents. But moving on, next story here reads, Binance and MasterCard launch Bitcoin rewards card in Brazil. The new rewards card from Binance and MasterCard will offer users in Brazil up to 8% cash back on select cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. Binance and MasterCard have launched a prepaid rewards card in Brazil that will allow customers to make everyday purchases with cryptocurrency. New and existing Binance users will be able to use the card to buy things and pay bills with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies across MasterCard's network of 90 million merchants, Binance said in a statement seen by Decrypt. It also comes with perks including up to 8% cash back in crypto on eligible purchases and 0 fees on ATM withdrawals. When the card becomes widely available in the next few weeks, it will make Brazil the second Latin country where it is available, following Argentina's rollout last year. Like the Argentinian card, users' funds will be converted from crypto to fiat currency in real time at the point of purchase. Payments made using crypto are subject to a 0.9% conversion fee. Brazil is an extremely relevant market for Binance, and we will continue to invest in new services for local users, as well as contributing to development of the blockchain and crypto ecosystem in this country, said Guilherme Nazar, general manager at Binance for Brazil. Last year, Brazil's Congress passed a bill that gives cryptocurrency payments legal status in the country, though without making the assets legal tender. It was signed into law by then President Jair Bolsonaro at the end of last year. Brazilians are eager to embrace crypto beyond an investment asset, Marcelo Tangioni, MasterCard's country manager for Brazil, said of Binance's latest announcement. Cardholders in Brazil will be able to pay using 14 different currencies. In addition to the Brazilian real, these include Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance's own BNB and BNUSD tokens. Plans are underway to increase the number of cryptocurrencies supported by the card, according to Binance's statement, as well as to expand its availability to more countries around the world. So again, people can keep sleeping if they want, but crypto taking over is inevitable. Now, will it necessarily be Bitcoin and Ethereum? Probably not. I don't think so. Like in the long term, I don't think so. I think they have the first mover advantage, but I don't think in the long term they're going to be like the most popular ones. But nonetheless, crypto will go far. And people can keep calling it a scam all they want. That's not going to change anything. They called the internet a scam. Look at what the internet has become. They called when the .com bubble happened back in the day, a lot of people thought that they were vindicated and that the internet was a scam. But again, look at where the internet has come since then. I think we're seeing pretty much the same story, but just told slightly differently. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below.